Christina. I'm Rain. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
Rain.
Is it okay if I call you Christina?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Well, just before we get started, just a little bit of overview about how things are going to run today. Obviously, everything you say in here is confidential, but if you should say anything about like maybe hurting yourself or hurting someone else, I do have to report that to someone else. And then also if you mention anything about like child abuse or elderly abuse, I do have to talk about those things. But other than that, everything is confidential, and what we say in here stays in here.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about what brings you in today.
I'm really stressed, and I can't really figure out how to deal with it at this point. I mean, I'm working all the time, and so my son's really mad because I'm never home, and he's off for the summer. And there's just so much to do when I am actually home, because I work for like 7-8 days because I'm a manager.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just an assistant, but the general manager, I'll just be honest with you, he's completely useless. So he takes all these vacation days, or he just schedules himself some time off.
Gosh.
So I work 8-9 days straight before I get a day off, and then I work 3 and get another. So I don't get to see my son very often. And so he's really upset about that. And then when I am home, there's so much to do, because I have to actually try to clean the house, and I have to take care of all the dogs, and I have one dog who's just falling apart. So I've been dealing with that too. And my husband doesn't seem to think that he can do anything at the house. I don't know if he's incapable or if he just doesn't want to at this point.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is, so I have all this stuff to try to do. And I just don't have enough time in the day to try to figure out when I'm going to try to make this stuff happen.
So it sounds like you just have a lot on your plate,
Yeah.
and you're really stressed out.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Is that like your primary concern? Is you're just feeling a lot of stress, anxiety?
Yeah,
How
I
do you
mean,
do it?
and then when I start feeling like this, I get sort of to this point where I shut down, because I have this whole list of things I need to do, because I need to do laundry for me and for my husband, and I need to do my son's laundry. And then I also have to go out and clean out the dog's house, and I have to make sure that their water's fresh, and then I have to go to the grocery store, and I have to clean the kitchen, I've got to clean the bathroom, I've got to get through all this stuff. So I have this list that's, a mile long. And I get to the point where I look at my list and I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. I want to take a nap. Because at some point I'm just like, well, it's not going to happen, so I'm just not going to.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I mean, anybody would feel that way in those conditions, so that's understandable. Just kind of an odd question. On a scale of 0 to 10, we're going to talk about like how you feel your stress, so I can get a better understanding of maybe what you're feeling when you're going through that day, because we all interpret stress differently. So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being the best that you've ever felt, you have no stress, stress is non-existent, you get everything done, you're not worried about it, and 10 being the worst stress you've ever felt, you feel like you cannot take another day with things going the way that they are. Where do you feel right now when you came in today?
Well, considering I came in here and I had all this other stuff, probably about a 6.
Okay. So you had other stuff going on today that added to it?
I always have other stuff going on.
But you still made it in, so that's absolutely fantastic. It's good that you're here and that you've taken that step to come in and try to talk to somebody about it. Where do you think your family, your husband, where does he think that how does he see your stress? Does he see it?
He probably sees it as like a 4.
Okay.
And that's only when I'm yelling at him, and when I'm not, he probably
Okay.
sees it as a 1.
Right.
Because he thinks my life is easy.
Okay. What about your son? You said you had a son?
He's 8. I don't really know that he interprets stress the same way, because, he
Maybe
is
you think
little.
of it in terms of then how much time he gets to spend with you. Is he getting no time at all, or is he getting?
He's not getting nearly as much as he, wants, because we used to have, because when he's in school during the year, a lot of times my schedule's different because we have everyone back for the summer, but I usually, at least on Fridays, we have a little camp out. So we sort of set up the living room and we watch sci-fi movies, because Sharktopus or whatever, he just loves it. So we'll watch whatever bad sci-fi movies are on, and we camp out on the sofa with the dogs, and he's really excited about it, and he gets to stay up late and eat some popcorn and drink chocolate milk, and he thinks it's the greatest thing ever. So we usually do that, and we haven't really been able to do that because I've had to work a lot of Fridays recently. So he's seeing me less, but he's home more, so I think he thinks he sees me even less than he does.
Yeah, yeah. But at least you have taken the time in the past to do that with him, and he probably can interpret that, eventually Mom will get to hang out with me again, so that's cool. That's fine.
Well, he keeps asking, so he definitely expects it to happen again eventually.
Yeah, and you can take that opportunity to explain to him, and then that you'll be back around sometime. What kinds of things have you been doing on your free time to make you feel a little bit better? Is there anything that alleviates the stress at all?
Well, sort of when I'm doing laundry and that type of thing. I'm usually watching like the ID channel. You know what I'm talking about, with all the detective shows.
Oh
and
yeah.
the like Black Widow shows and all of that stuff. So I really like those shows. I think it scares my husband, which is probably part of why I like it. But I really like those. So I usually watch those in the background, sort of while I'm trying to do, you know, the bells and other things.
Okay.
And so they're pretty interesting. So I think I just get sort of involved in them. So I don't think about everything else as much. So watching stuff like that usually makes me feel a little bit better. And when I can actually get sort of some time, it's when I'm driving a lot of the time, because I do have to drive to work. We live sort of out a ways, so I have to drive to work and drive home and drive anywhere I need to go. So when I'm driving, that's sort of a good little calming moment, which I know is weird because everyone else has road rage, but that's sort of a really calming thing for me, because I can just, you know, blare the radio and not really have to think about everything else I could be doing, because I can't be doing anything else because I'm driving a car.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good. I enjoy driving around a lot for that.
Okay. Well, think about those things that you do to make yourself calm. And when was the last time that you think that you were able to have a calm day, that you were able to do those things, you were able to drive and kind of meditate while you're driving or watch your shows? When was the last time that you did that?
Gosh, it was probably about 2 weeks or so ago. I somehow managed to get 2 days off in a row. I'm still not entirely sure how that happened.
Nice.
But so the first day I spent getting a lot of stuff done. So I got to actually, you know, take down the laundry load a little bit, and I got to get the dogs all situated. And then the next day I went and met my husband and my son, and we went out on the river for a little bit because we live right on the lake. So we went down there and met with them, and we went out and just had a good, calm day. And when we came back, you know, my son was tired, so he was taking a little bit of a nap, and then my husband was out working on the four-wheeler, so I got to, you know, sit there and just sort of chill out for a little bit and just like watch TV for a minute, and the dog wasn't destroying anything, and everything was just pretty calm for a little bit.
That sounds like a really great time.
Yeah.
I would like to have done that too myself, absolutely.
It was definitely a good day.
Okay, well, keep that picture in your mind of that day. And this is going to be a strange question, kind of like with the scaling question, but I want you to imagine that you go home tonight and you do your normal bedtime ritual, you get ready for bed, go to sleep, and overnight a miracle happens. You don't know that the miracle happened though because you're asleep. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, this miracle has occurred and everything has gone away and you have a brand new life in the way that you want it. What would be the first thing that you would notice tomorrow morning?
I wouldn't wake up feeling like my heart was about to burst out of my chest because I have 1,000 things that I'm already thinking about doing. And I would have actually slept well because I wake up so many times during the night. So I would have actually slept well, so I'd actually feel like I had slept instead of like I had just taken a cat nap for, 20 minutes or something. And I'd be able to get up and I'd be able to sort of get the kitchen together and actually make breakfast sort of for my son and get him together, and then we'd actually be able to go out and do something. Maybe we'd go out on the four-wheeler and we get to have a day, and I wouldn't have people from work calling me because they can't figure out how to work the computer because for some reason they've been using this system, but the kitchen still manages to crash at the restaurant at least once every 2 days, and for some reason I think I'm the only person that can deal with it. So they won't be calling me for that, and I wouldn't have to listen to that. I could actually just turn my phone off. And then my husband, he'd, come with us, and he wouldn't complain about how this wasn't done or that wasn't done or how I expect so much of him. And he'd actually be in a good mood. So then we'd get home and we'd be able to have dinner, and it would just be a really good day. And
it sounds really similar to the day that you said that you had a little while ago.
Yeah, I mean, those are those are the good days, and they're just pretty few and far between because it's the working all the time and then trying to balance up on everything else. I mean, I really like my life when it doesn't suck.
Yeah, we all do. We all like our life that way. Is there any element of that big picture that you have of this miracle day? Is there any element that you think that you could actually feasibly do within the next few days?
I could probably try to actually maybe try to get to bed earlier.
Okay.
So I could wake up feeling a little bit more sort of refreshed and ready to go. And so that, I think that would be a big part of it because, you know, when you're tired, you're just grouchy and you can't really do anything about it. You just are. So I think if I could just, you know, go to sleep and wake up feeling better, then I might be able to get stuff together in the morning. I might have an easier time getting up and getting started. So I think that might make things a lot easier.
Okay. Well, just going back to that 0 through 10 again, so imagine that in your head. We're going to use that the same with the likelihood that you are able to go to sleep maybe tonight and wake up that way tomorrow or within the next week. So with a 0 being that you can't do that, you cannot go to sleep, and we're going to do the absence of. So like 0, not going to happen, can't
Okay.
do that. 10, I absolutely can do that. I know that it will happen tonight 100%. Where do you think you are again today for that to happen tonight?
Probably like a 4.
Okay, so we're not quite to the 10. How can we get you a little bit? Maybe 2. Maybe can we get you to a 6? How can we get you to a 6?
Well, I mean, today I probably couldn't, but I probably could tomorrow.
Okay.
Because tomorrow I have to get a lot of stuff together tonight because tomorrow my son has football tryouts
Okay.
because they're getting ready to start that back up and they take everybody. I don't know why they have to try out anyway. It doesn't even make sense, but whatever. I'm paying a bunch of money, so I might as well let them do it. But so tomorrow I think would be a good day to do that
Okay.
because if I can get things done while he's out doing his tryout, if I can get his daddy to take him instead,
Mm-hmm.
then I should be able to actually get some more stuff done and probably go to bed a little bit earlier.
Okay. So it sounds like you have an idea of how this miracle day possibly could come to life at some point. You have some good ideas, and if you can talk to your husband and see if he can take your son to football tryouts, then hopefully you can get all you have to get done and go to bed on time or a little bit early tomorrow night. Okay. Well, that's something that I think maybe we could try in the next week. Do you want to meet again next week?
Sure.
To kind of follow up and see where things were. Is there anything else in that day that you think that you could work on? Is there any days this week where maybe you can take time to watch your shows that you like? Or
Well, I mean, there are a couple days where I do an open mid, which that's basically a 12-hour day. But when I come home, if I don't, you know, deal with the dogs and everything for too long, then I might be able to sort of at the end of that go back through on the DVR and
okay.
watch maybe 1 or 2.
And take some time for yourself. That sounds like that would be really beneficial as far as your stress level. Well, that's about all the time we have for today, and I would like to meet with you again. So just in the next week, what I would like you to do is maybe work on that one night, at least trying to get to bed on time or early if you can to get a full time of sleep. And then also taking that time one day this week to watch those shows that you like to kind of help yourself. You think you can do that?
Yeah, I think I can do that. I think I can definitely do at least a day or 2 maybe.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and step out, and we will work on scheduling getting that time set up for you. It was really nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you.
All right.